Alice, this is such a fascinating film and very intriguing. Where did the concept for bad behaviors come from?
Well, I went to a lot of retreats when I was growing up, and there's this Caravaggio painting of Medusa, and she's sort of screaming like this, and I, the way my brain saw it is I just wanted to write about someone doing something really wrong, and that not being the whole drama of the film, whether it was right or wrong. I wanted it to definitely be wrong, and I just wanted to sit with that for a long, long time and see also what a wrong person feels and does, and all the kind of incredible things she learns from actually just being the messy being that she is. I think a lot of the time we want to like tie things up in a neat knot, and I like when a story can it sounds weird to say about your own because it sort of sounds like I'm referencing my own film, but I like telling stories that are not necessarily fully resolved because I don't think that's how um, it seems like we experience life. And I think that there are these wonderful feelings of like endings and beginnings, and I really wanted to respectfully mess with the structure of that with the story, especially in a world that deals so much with, the Enlightenment industry really does try to deal with deconstructing your narrative around yourself. And then, of course, the film industry is all about trying to package it and manipulate it and sell it and somehow through all of this coercion come out the other end feeling true and real. Yeah, it blows my mind, but I love it.
Were you always in mind to play Dylan then?
Yeah, I wanted to really badly, and I just thought if I kept sneaking it through, I just kept saying it and seeing if my producers would say no, and they never said no. So I was like, okay, great, I'll give it a shot then. But it's not something I necessarily like want to do all the time. I really feel I don't necessarily, when I'm directing, feel an itch to get in front of the camera. I like love having a coffee and like being with your team is so nice. But yeah, I was for this I wanted to do it.
There's such a great cast as well to this. How involved were you and hands-on were you when it came to casting this film?
Oh, I mean incredibly hands-on. I wrote everyone um I mean very sincere but probably very sappy letters begging them to be involved. Um and I think it's really important. And the casting of the retreat and whatnot, I I'm an actor, so I know how it's kind of depressing it can be when there's all this chance for character and you're just sort of just expected to be BG. And I didn't feel like anyone on the retreat should be allowed to just be background. So we had quite a like long process of casting there, and had everybody send in a inspirational quote they thought their character might have and then to explain why. And we got some incredible ones. We had some Winnie the Pooh. We had My Neck, My Back by Kia. It was in, yeah, they got a part, obviously. And yeah, it was so great because yeah, actors are so talented and stuff. Like I know I'm biased, but it's such a shame when people are scared of actors, because they're actually just really like interesting people with some, yeah, yeah. I loved casting. It's also hard because you just want to cast everyone and you can't and all that. But yeah.
There are some incredible and intense scenes to this movie. Is there one or a few maybe that you're truly proud of how they turned out from page to screen?
That's such a lovely question. That's a beautiful question. Yeah, I'm really proud of the swaddling scene. Sometimes I forget that it exists for some reason, and then I remember that we actually did it, and that Jennifer actually agreed and loved it and did it, and that exists. And I'm very proud of that. And it's such a, because I really wanted it to get into that awful thing where you feel, you know, when you feel very serious and you're feeling like you are genuinely going through something and it is objectively very funny for everybody, for other people. And I loved that. I love when the feeling of myself, like when I know I'm going to cry and you're genuinely like, oh, not now. Like there's not the right people for this. Like you're going to be so humiliated. And just I guess that scene feels like a beautiful um diorama of humiliation and reflection and swaddling. And I loved it, and everyone was so game and so good. Also the chair. It was just special to do a stunt like that. That was also so. I mean, we our stunt coordinator was one of the original Zelda. I'm sorry, Princess Xena. I've been playing too much Nintendo. Xena, Warrior Princess. Oh my God, I think I said Zelda earlier in another interview. Whatever. Love it too. But she was one of the original Xenas and Wonder Woman's. So just kind of the mundanity of just working out a stunt that is just a chair and someone losing it was really fun and silly and beautiful. And Jennifer was so generous and fantastic and funny and real, and Dasha as well, and beautiful Beulah. And Ben Whishaw is such a subtle hilaire to me. Like he is, I really gave him such a difficult job because I think people are like so keen to make a guru look um they want them to be like really charismatic and extreme, you know, really out there and just wearing a speedo or whatever. But the lot of the I've been to a lot of these retreats and people sit there and they sit there in their beige cardigans with their orchid, and it's that's the truth is that sometimes it's quite well, it can be a little bit beige. And frankly, I still love all of this. And thankfully, all these folks are too enlightened to care about my silly movie. And also, they have a good sense of humor most of the time, so they like it. But yeah, that was the challenge. We wanted Benny Boy to um, try and keep him to in a very, very potentially just having a manic episode air space, mundane to manic episode. And yeah, I think he was, yeah, sorry, just complimenting
Okay.
people.
There is a very Nine Perfect Strangers vibe to the movie, and I'm sure this is getting sort of those kind of comparisons with The Guru and Nicole Kidman's sort of like the Elon of that series as well. But this is such a fascinating film. What do you think it is about the movie that is just so enchanting and makes it so fascinating? Is it because we have all these retreats these days? Is it because people get carried away in their wellness journeys? What do you hope leads?
Ah, that's so lovely that that's how you feel about it. I think that for me, why I was excited about it was it felt like it was pushing on the kind of final frontier that's like in your head. And I think it's epic in the sense that our capacity to overthink things and to be cruel to ourselves is actually blockbuster level. Like it is a saga. And I think sometimes, um, yeah, the kind of I love all the devil in the details of the things and the divine in the details of things. And I love when you get to spend some real time with characters so that you can like I like it when something, I like it personally when a film trusts the audience to be interested long enough that it's not always moving on or coming from a place of fear in the pacing. And I really wanted to make something that was trusting that the people who would love it would love it too. You know, we loved making it. We all wanted to make the same thing. And um yeah, so I don't know, maybe that. And I think mum and daughter relationships are also full of some of the most blockbuster emotions out there. So maybe that's part of it too. I think it's nice to seeing it go into all the places that they're both trying not to go, you know, and everyone wants to be kind and loving, and it's quite hard when you're also a human with a full spectrum of emotions. Yeah. And also just Jennifer. How can that's I think it's probably just Jennifer and Benny, and yeah, that's probably why it's enchanting because she's magic. Yeah, she is.